Welcome to News 9 and you are watching On Point. Today we have one On Point. And the focus of On Point today is on the high turnout in phase 1 of the Bihar Assembly Election and what does it mean? And now let's take a quick look at the headlines.
एसोसिएट स्पॉन्सर बैंक ऑफ बड़ौदा के संग त्योहार की उमंग.
High stakes voting ends for phase 1 of Bihar Assembly polls. State record 60.13% voter turnout till 5 p.m. with Patna at 55.02%. The voting turnout to go up further. Politics intensifies over sugarcane farmers' protest as Karnataka CM Siddaramaiah puts onus on the centre. Says the central government has a greater responsibility towards farmers. Political row erupts in Tamil Nadu over special intensive revision of electoral rolls. DMK-led alliance to stage protest against EC. The United States is preparing to establish a military presence at an airbase in Damascus in Syria to help enable a security pact that Washington is brokering between Syria and Israel.
एसोसिएट स्पॉन्सर बैंक ऑफ बड़ौदा के संग त्योहार की उमंग.
Big day in Bihar. First phase of voting in Bihar has taken place. The turnout was a surprise. High turnout. Whether it is anti-incumbency or pro-incumbency, the ballot will tell the real tale. Though what can be vouched is that the election was a grind for both NDA and MGB and lot is at stake in this election. For Nitish it is his legacy, for Tejashwi it is a matter of credible alternative to Nitish Kumar, for Congress it is a matter of relevance. But right now we will talk about the unusually high voter turnout in Bihar. The turnout happened without any major incidents of violence, though attack on DCM Vijay Sinha's convoy did take place. The polling was largely peaceful. Our conversation is divided into 5 parts. 1. What is the meaning of the high voter percentage? Is it pro-incumbency or anti-incumbency? The second part we'll look into, will elections go down the wire or will it be won by a large margin? And the third part is, did Jungle Raj emerge as a dominant theme? The fourth part is, did vote chori resonate in the phase? Fifth part is, what is at stake for the small parties? But let me take you through the data first. The data of the numbers. And it starts from 2000. For example, 2025, 60.13%. This is at 5 p.m. 2020, 57.3%. It's combined. 2015, 56.7%. 2010, 52.7%. 2005, 45.9%. And 2005, again, because there were 2 elections, let me tell you, there were 2 assembly elections, 46.5%. And in 2000, when Rabri Devi was Chief Minister, it was 62.6%. So just to benefit of our viewers, in 2005, elections in Bihar took place twice. So going by the number, I think record is going to be broken. I think that this 62.6% mark is going to be breached. Earlier, the elections in Bihar would take place in multiple phases, 4 phase, 3 phase, 5 phase, 6 phase. But now it's a 2-phase election because of stupendous work done by Home Ministry in eradicating Naxalites from the affected areas known as red corridors. So the elections can take place in 2 parts. But it also tells us a story. On this issue, I am joined by Brijesh Pandey, input editor of News 9, Ashwini Kumar, Professor Tess, Smita Mishra, author and senior journalist, Faizan Ahmed, senior journalist, and Santosh Singh, senior journalist. Let me straight away go to Brijesh first. Brijesh, I think my personal opinion is it's going to breach the 62% mark.
Well, looks like that because, at 3 o'clock it was 53.7 and when 5 o'clock data came out, it was almost 7% jump. So in all probability, it will definitely breach the 62 point. It'll be safe to assume that it'll breach 62.6 and this makes it the highest voter turnout in a long time. It'll be interesting to see whether the phase 2 also mirrors or echoes a similar sentiment. But it's definitely a good day for democracy where such a vast number of people have exercised their vote. It'll be very, very interesting to see how it pans out because this this election is by and large, minor Jungle Raj versus non-Jungle Raj and various plays in work. It was not a high octane, high pitched, intense battle as we have seen it happening in Uttar Pradesh or 2020 election. So it will be very interesting to see who is driving or what factors are driving this high turnout. Is it going to be against?
I know everyone,
is it going to be
everyone wants to speak on it. Professor Ashwini Kumar, your take on something which I feel history is being made. It's going to breach that 62.6% data. Why is this happening? Is it pro-incumbency or is it anti-incumbency?
I mean, I'm not surprised. First and important thing that I'm not surprised. I was expecting, expecting this kind of a turnout. Whether or not it becomes historic, let's wait for the second phase, average out. But here, a couple of things that we must pay attention to. It is now, what I would say, incumbent advantage, Nitish advantage, largely because of, if my hypothesis is correct, I would say the Sajaria effect and Jivika Didi turnout, massive. So I would say on the lighter note, I am in Bombay. So GA to Bihar ke lali, GA to Hajar Sal. I mean, this is fantastic in Bihar. I've never ever seen, and now coming back, just give me a second in terms of the data. Looking at the data, Karthikeya and the panelists, let's pay attention to the granular data of men and women. Historically, women have been voting more than the men, So this really proves the hypothesis that GA to Bihar ke lali, they have come out in large numbers because of Jivika Didi mobilization. Just note 1 crore 20 lakh accounts of Jivika Didi have reached the Sajaria. So this is like, in terms of incumbent reinforcement theory is going. And then, third, in terms of, statistically, what it happens, it can shift 15 to 20 seats. If it is repeated in the second phase and continues to have the same Jivika Didi resonance, I think there will be historic landslide victory also. Let's see.
Okay, very quickly. Santosh, your assessment, why is the voter turnout high? And is it going to benefit Nitish Kumar or is it benefiting Mahagathbandhan?
Yeah, as Ashwini sir said, it looks, I think, pro-incumbency vote.
Oh, pro-incumbency?
Yeah.
Of course, it looks pro-incumbency vote. It looks like vote for Nitish Kumar. I have not seen such kind of surge in last two, three elections. But again, as Ashwini sir said, even I am not surprised with a lot of awareness among voters, especially among female voters as well. And the kind of participation they had in their rallies, even during the road show of the NDA leaders, it was huge. In comparison to that, we hardly see a good turnout at Tejashwi's rally in terms of presence of women voters. I'm not talking about overall. Overall, he also drew a good crowd. So this tells a great story what Nitish Kumar had started in 2006 with the 50% reservation for women, and then topped it up with the uniform bicycle schemes, and that went on so many sundry schemes, and I think now it has resulted into this kind of turnout. Okay. So it is again, I would repeat, it's pro-income. It looks a massive pro-income.
Okay. Before I go to Smita and Faizan, let me just throw some data on screen. For example, in 2020, the thin line between NDA and Mahagathbandhan was 12,768 votes. If you recall, I was having this conversation in the morning. 12,768 votes. This was the difference in the 2020. Now, in 2024, BJP secured 39.94% of the votes in Haryana, while Congress Alliance managed 39.34%. Gap between Congress and the BJP was 83,825. In Odisha, BJP bagged 40.22% votes and 151 seats, while BJP bagged 40.07% votes, less, but still got 78 seats. In Himachal Pradesh in 2022, Congress dislodged BJP. Vote difference? 37,974 votes. In 2018 in Madhya Pradesh, BJP bagged 41.6% votes, got 109 seats. National Congress bagged 41.5% votes, 0.1% less, 0.1, but got 114 seats. So, Smita, the question is very simple. going by the percentage of vote share, are we looking at a close election victory or the margins are going to increase?
Well, you see, you've just mentioned what are in absolute numbers, the difference between the two alliances was so thin, so meager. But we cannot forget the fact that in that election, Chirag Paswan was fighting, independently with a couple of very small parties, and he had challenged the JDU everywhere. So when we compare the two alliances, we have to factor that subtext also. But more importantly, if you look in terms of percentage, I think the vote share percent difference between the two alliances was something around 0.03%, which means not even 0.5%. We have seen such elections in Chhattisgarh in the past. I have seen elections where the vote share percentage couldn't tell you anything.
Okay.
Because in such a small difference of vote share, anybody can win actually with some votes. But coming to the turnout thing, Kartike, I think, we are far away from those days when we used to be told by our seniors and editors in the newsroom that if the vote percentage, if a lot of people are voting, to sarkar gayi. I mean, that theory has been busted a dozen times by now. And it's not always a reflection of anger. In many cases, it is a reflection of the fact that the voter wants stability to continue. And before we make it a very political conversation, which certainly it is, I want to compliment the voters of Bihar today, and especially the women. They are the heroines of this day, and also Election Commission. Please remember that the big numbers in which the young voters and first-time voters are coming out is also because the Election Commission nowadays has not limited its campaign for voting only during some election time. It's a year, it goes on the whole year round. The sweep thing about, exhorting people to come out and exercise their franchise is now a full-time campaign for the Election Commission. You will find these meetings in Nirvachan Sadan all the time. So I think the first credit goes to the Election Commission and then to the voters. Thirdly, the credit must go to the environment.
There's a breaking news. There's a bit of a breaking news, Smita. Election Commission is saying approximate voter turnout trend. Approximate voter turnout trend. This is a breaking news. 60.25%. This is going to get upgraded by 9 o'clock. This is an approximation.
When the last
it has already touched 60.
Yeah. No, when the last reports have come from all the booths, all the far-flung booths, and it will all be tabulated, you will find that it will go much higher than this. And my only wish is that the people who will be voting in the second phase, they get inspired by this turnout in the first phase, and they come out in even bigger numbers. You see, all over the country, people have started voting in very big numbers. Check the Northeast, check everywhere. So why should Bihar be lagging behind? I mean, those days are over when you had to risk your life to cast your vote. So why not come up?
Okay. Your opening comments, Faizan, why is voter turnout so high? I understand it's a two-phase elections. We can't just compare it with the previous elections, but still the fact of the matter is, going by the data we have, it's going to breach the 2000 mark. So what is making people come out and vote?
Yeah, Kartike, I also believe that this high turnout is not against anti-incumbency. It is not for anti-incumbency. It is for pro-incumbency. And the another factor of this high turnout is the good turnout of women voters almost everywhere where this election was held. Polling was held today. You see, you gave the figure of 2005. In 2005, it was 45%, and it was anti-incumbency. It was anti-incumbency vote, which was lower than what we witnessed in 2005 and 2010. So we can safely say that this 62% vote is not against the present government. Rather, I will say it is in favor. It will go in favor of this NDA government, and it will definitely affect and influence the voters of another 122 constituencies which will go on November 11. You see, not only the women but also the youth. We were discussing in the morning session the Gen Z, this Gen Z voters, and there are almost 1.4 million new voters this time who went or who are going to vote for the first time, and they are quite enthusiastic about their first experience. So I think this whether you see in some constituencies the voting percentage went up to 68%.
Yeah.
That is
Begusara.
quite very amazing, because in Bihar had always been known for low percentage of voting. It was 40-45%, 50%. But this time, and another interesting aspect is that by 1 p.m. the average voting percentage was 43%. But in just 1 hour later, it was 53%, and by 5 o'clock it was more than 60%. So it is, I think that voters, whether they were voting for this alliance or that alliance, they voted aggressively.
Okay.
But Karthik, if you permit, I mean, I want to ask the good professor a question, because, you know, there seems to be a near unanimity that this is a pro-incumbency vote. So pardon my inadequacy, but I just wanted to understand, you know, you talked about, you know, how this is a pro-incumbency vote, talked about how women voters are there. I just want to understand that this is a story of Nitish Kumar being in power for almost 15-20 years. So what exactly has changed? Women voters have been voting for Nitish Kumar. Women voters were pretty vocal about it. Now, you know, even in elections in West Bengal and other parts, women are the dominant voter, if I may use the term, when it comes to elections after election. So this is nothing new phenomenon, especially when it comes with Nitish Kumar. So what exactly changed that you are seeing this, you know, a complete galvanization or a reassertion of sorts? Is it only 10,000? I would...
I mean, that's a Jariya I'm using, you know, just in terms of the effect, you know, it's called galvanization effect. So what happens that, you know, economy, if you look at two broad theories, I mean, like, I'm not in the class, you know, but it's a socio-tropic voting or pocketbook voting. So pocketbook voting means that economic issues such as Dasajariya become very salient. So what I'm trying to correlate here in terms of the voter theory, dominant global voter theory, that women have realized, perhaps in this election, what we call, you know, consolidation of their own political saliency. That's very important, you know. If that happens, then what is going to happen? In political science and statistics, electoral statistics, what we call Simpson paradox, means that is created by first post-pass election in terms of non-majority. You know, so first time, if the women come out with 5-6% extra, Bihar will have, you know, a government, incumbent government with a solid, you know, representative majority government, largely revolving around women, you know. If you just look at, you know, sheer voters, you know, women voters. So this is something, you know, I'm not surprised, you know, looking at, you know, the Bihar, especially, okay. I remember, you know, 2 months back, I was mentioning about, you know, my ground travel in the Bihar, bottom of the Bihar. This is actually bottom of Bihar is getting consolidated. You know, so if you look at, you know, the Dalits, you know, there are two things are very important here. And EBC, within EBC, the marginalized EBC have galvanized. So let's not forget that, you know, women belonging to EBC and the lower EBC, within EBC and the Dalits, you know, because of Chirag Paswan's strong, you know, mobilization, clean image, etc., etc. So I think, you know, Nitish Kumar is being held by these structural features of politics in Bihar, led by women, you know. This is where I'm calling Jiya to Bihar ke Lali, Jiya to Hajar Sal.
Okay, let's move to the third part. And this is the most important part. Did Jungle Raj really emerge as a dominant theme? You know, a lot of people from the side of Congress and RJD would say, no, it was not important. A lot of people say, no, it is important. Those are iconic memories. Those are memories that have been transferred across generations. And it holds good. Why? Because people just don't want to return to Bihar of 1990. Simple as that. Now, If you look at the rally of the Prime Minister, which was held in Araria, Modi invoked the lawlessness that prevailed in 1990s under RJD. He said Jungle Raj of the RJD era tormented Bihar's people for 15 long years. He said that the progress of the state during Jungle Raj was zero, and he used the word Neel Bate Sannata.
90 का दशक आया और बिहार पर आरजेडी के जंगल राज ने हमला कर दिया और जंगल राज मतलब कट्टा, क्रूरता, कटुता, कुसंस्कार, करप्शन और कुशासन, ये जंगल राज की पहचान बन गए और ये बिहार का दुर्भाग्य बन गया। 15 साल के जंगल राज में बिहार में कितने टूरिस्ट सर्किट विकसित हुए, कितने टूरिस्ट सर्किट विकसित हुए, जरा जोर से बताइए कितने विकसित हुए? 0, 0, नील बटे सन्नाटा।
नीतीश कुमार जी ने मिलकर उनके साथ सरकार बनाई है। मैं अति पिछड़ा भाइयों से कहना चाहता हूं कि नीतीश जी जंगल राज की बात करते हैं। जंगल राज दिल्ली में है। नरेंद्र मोदी और अमित शाह ने देश में जंगल राज लागू कर रखा है। ईडी, सीबीआई, इनकम टैक्स डिपार्टमेंट का राज, धमकी का राज, नफरत का राज।
Okay, Santosh, this Jungle Raj debate is a sort of a binary between RJD and BJP and JDU. I'll ask you a different question. Why has Congress not been able to crack the EBC vote? It is also a player, it is also an alliance partner. 2024, Congress was pretty successful when they ran this campaign of the constitution, that constitution can get altered, if BJP comes to power. The seats of Bharatiya Janata Party got reduced in Lok Sabha from 300 plus, it went down to 240. So, why it continues to remain a political outlier, almost a political failure as a party in Bihar? Congress, which is a national party, they have a LOP in Lok Sabha. Why are they irrelevant in Bihar? Santosh, can you unmute yourself, Santosh? Okay.
Is it okay now?
Yes.
Yeah. Sir, see, Congress has been never a stakeholder of EBC vote in Bihar. No, I think Congress is a new socialist. They are trying to, a party which has resisted Kaka Kalelkar Commission, the Mandal Commission, Mungri Lal Commission, now it's talking about the OBC, EBC and Dalit votes. It's very ironical. So there are no buyers for the Congress theory that, okay, you are the champion of EBC and OBC. And they have got so little time to do all that. Of course, Rahul Gandhi had been here for 5-6 times. He talked about B.R. Ambedkar, EBC, OBC, and also he got some leaders to join the party. It was more of a symbolism thing. He just, you saw the optics of he was just taking to water with some fishermen just the other day. But I think it is not going to serve the purpose. It is largely a constituency first cultivated by Nitish Kumar, and then post 2014 phenomenon when Mr. Narendra Modi arrived on the scene. So BJP also consolidated their EBC constituency. So it is 25% of constituency. People used to call it a floating voters. I was just 2 days back, I was in Jamui. A voter said, a Yadav voter told me, it doesn't look good to just talk about the caste, but that is how it is in Bihar. Yadav voter said, क्या करें? पचपनिया ही भाग गया हम लोगों के साथ में. पचपनिया और पचपुरना, ये local terms, it's used in local political parlance, that denotes EBC. So EBCs are not clubbing with us because of their aggression. which some political scientists said the green towel syndrome. When there was RJD rule, the people would come with a green towel and sit on chalk and talk about. So it's the dominance. It is one Nariyal wala told me there was nothing wrong with Lalu Prasad regime. It was the Yadavization of politics that sent a wrong image. That is something even Tejashwi doesn't want to happen. That is how it is. So EBC, 25% of EBC, I think the NDA has become, it's a truth, NDA has become major stakeholder of EBC vote. So people, of course, from last time onwards, we can say that Congress has consolidated its position. Fine. Krishna Labru was here, the AICC Congress in charge was there, he worked to build the organization. I still see Congress doing slightly better than the last time. But if you think they will just win away EBC votes from EBC, I'm not going to buy that.
Okay.
They will get some votes here and there, but that's it.
Okay.
Yes, Karthikeya.
Okay, so Smita, why do this EBC vote sticks to Nitish Kumar and BJP? I mean, it's the same shops are being offered by Congress, same shops are being offered by NGB. Is it the sense of security? Is it the sense of dignity? Or is it just the memories, as Professor spoke earlier in the morning, that those iconic memories of lawlessness which people don't want to go back to?
It's all of it, it's all of what you've just mentioned. Let me tell you, the EBCs as a political force have first been recognized only in the Nitish Kumar regime. It started when Nitish Kumar came to government first. Let me tell you that today everybody wants to call themselves Jananayak, The original and the only Jananayak, Karpuri Thakur, was the first leader in Bihar who brought this idea of this Annexure 1 and Annexure 2, which means even among the backward castes, he made two lists because he thought that there were certain dominant backward castes who, if left alone, they will not, allow the empowerment to percolate down to the other intermediary castes, and therefore he had made these two lists, which after then Congress again came back to power. Then it was Mandal period, and all of that was put in the back burner. It was Nitish Kumar who came in 2005 and he revived that entire concept and created a separate chunk for the EBCs. Now, EBCs for a very long time during the Mandal period went through a period which was not social justice in any way for them. You see, for them, the two or three dominant backward castes, particularly the Yadavs, the Gangotas, etc., are no different from the upper castes. In fact, if you go to a village, and I am being very frank here, because it is real politics that we need to understand. If you go to any typical Bihar village, the Mahadalits and the EBCs, the extremely backward castes, the Pachpaniya, are far more comfortable with the so-called upper castes than the dominant, backward caste. So first of all, there is a sense of security. He or she feels that till Nitish Kumar is there, nobody can do any dabangai. They cannot seize whatever little land they have. They cannot force them to do, work which they don't want to do. Altogether, they feel they can live a life of dignity. Apart from that, Nitish Kumar for them is a tried and tested leader. Now coming to the Congress, I don't want to go too much into this because what has been done for the EBCs during the NDA regime is something we have all been, observing in much detail. Now coming to Rahul Gandhi. This time, after I heard a lot from my Congress friends and read about it also, I was really curious to know how Rahul Gandhi is trying to focus on the extremely backward castes, and they came out with an EBC charter, a kind of manifesto, etc. So I thought perhaps he's really now, trying something new. But what happened? Number one, you look at the Congress list of candidates. I mean, it has given such a raw deal to the EBC segments altogether. Why would they trust him at all when they have another party in hand already?
Are you saying that the tickets weren't distributed to EBCs?
Another thing, Karthikeya, just completing just one more point. You see, the Congress may do everything to woo the EBCs. They may bring out a charter, a manifesto, and talk about them, etc. But the EBCs are wise people. They know that the Congress is not going to come to government on its own. The Congress is actually an ally of the RJD.
Okay.
And they know that if they vote for the Congress, it will be an RJD government. So I don't think they are going to fall for that.
Okay. So the basic consensus is that something has really worked for Nitish Kumar in this election, and probably it's the way the election is panning out. It looks like a pro-incumbency vote, but I'm not the one who's going to call it out, because I'll be joined by Manish Berrier, spokesperson Bharatiya Janata Party, and Dr. Nishant Ahmed, spokesperson Congress Party. But after a short break, and in that context, we are going to also discuss another aspect. What happened to the vote chori campaign? What happened to the SIR campaign? Did it click? Did it work? Are we getting the issue of political empowerment or the campaign of political empowerment right in states? This will be the second part of our conversation, but after a short break.
Associate sponsor. Ever ready, give me power, give me red. आप हमें जानते नहीं पर मानते हैं.
पता है हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस आपकी फैमिली के लिए कितना जरूरी है? इतना जरूरी है कि भारत सरकार ने इस पे जीएसटी पूरी तरह से हटाकर जीरो कर दिया है. पॉलिसी बाजार पर अब 1 करोड़ का हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस सिर्फ 550 रुपए महीने से शुरू. policybazaar.com.
पेंटिंग में पहली बार बिरला ओपस अश्योरेंस. 1 साल में पेंट को कुछ भी हुआ तो पेंटिंग वापस करके देंगे. रजिस्टर करो birlaopus.com पर.
बढ़ता है, खेलता है, झूलता उछलता है, दौड़ता कभी कभी दौड़ कराता है, आगे आगे बढ़ता है इंडिया, अमूल दूध पीता है इंडिया.
लाइफ जब भी आगे बढ़ने का मौका दे तो अपनी सुपर पावर, अपना गोल्ड यूज करिए और IIFL फाइनेंस से गोल्ड लोन लीजिए.
IIFL फाइनेंस करता है सीधी बात.
ये दीवानापन मजा आ रहा है.
Moments come alive, even in everyday life. Every moment finds its place, and every day comes alive inside the aircross. What do you say, Kara?
I think Mahi, Titro and Aircross have her moment to boss.
Wow, say that again.
So let me straight away go to Manish Berrier, spokesperson Bharatiya Janata Party, who joins me. Manish, Election Commission is reporting that the voter percentage is right now at 60.2%. It is historic in nature. It's historic in nature. So before I get into this issue of political empowerment, let me ask this question to you. Since it's a high voter percentage, it might just break into the 2000 assembly election record. Why has it gone up this time?
I'm sorry, I could not hear properly.
Why is the voting percentage on the higher side this time?
See, I think it's a combined effort of the Election Commission, and obviously I would say that social media has also played a role in this, because people are becoming more aware. We must also understand the fact that Bihar is becoming more literate. So people are now understanding what exactly is their roles and duties. And of course, women, they have been very, very enthusiastic about the voting, the kind of things that have been done for them. So I would say that is also there. But overall, I just welcome that it's a very good example of deepening of democracy. And I congratulate everyone participating in this for that.
Okay, your opening comments, Dr. Nishant and Anand?
See, I believe for last 20 years, the people of Bihar have suffered under the BJP and JDU alliance. So that the government that has looted public money, destroyed governance, and left our youth without any hope. So today, the voting has increased because I believe the Mahagathbandhan, the Congress, RJD, we have informed the people of Bihar that you should go out, vote, because the SIR has done for vote chori. They do not want again BJP government in Bihar which is not going to do anything which they have not done in the last 11 years. And Nitish has been in the power for 20 years, and there is nothing, no work in Bihar.
No work in Bihar. Do you think that this narrative has held, Brijesh, that no work has been done in Bihar, or do you think that the Jungle Raj narrative has had the upper hand?
I think, more than Jungle Raj narrative, because both sides are trying to do one thing. One side is trying to deny that there ever was a Jungle Raj, and if there was, now there's no glimpse of it. And the other side is trying to impress upon that if RJD comes to power, it will be a repeat of what, 90s, late 90s and early 2000 would look like. It will be a return of Jungle Raj. I don't think there was that much of a competing narrative which was going on. I think the bigger narrative is that, that Tejashwi Yadav has been talking about employment. Tejashwi Yadav has been talking about how he will get more industries and all, and will completely revolutionize, if I may use the word, as far as the job scenario is concerned, literally offering them the moon, that 1% out of every family will get jobs and all. Nitish Kumar here has a tried and tested track record. People, there have been apprehensions about his well-being. There have been apprehensions about whether, it'll be, how long is he going to be the chief minister, even if he becomes the chief minister, because, his utterances at rallies, his utterances, his behaviors at public function and all has led to a lot of speculation which is gaining ground. But I think, it's just that Nitish Kumar right now is a solid bet as far as NDA is concerned. Okay. I'm not predicting any kind of, whether it's going to be NDA or Mahagathbandhan. But Nitish Kumar is an upper.
Professor Ashwini Kumar, I said, this part of the discussion will be on the political empowerment. Congress ran the campaign with Mahagathbandhan in context of the political empowerment, which started on the note of special intensive role, which is disenfranchisement. Then it said that the vote chori is happening. Is the party reading the script right in terms of political empowerment, and why SIR is not having that sort of a mobilizing effect?
I would respond to the first part first. I think if you look at the whole idea of vote theory, it effectively means in our lingo, in our disciplinary lingo of social sciences, what we call disenfranchisement. So if you look at historically, in a state, caste-ridden hierarchical feudal society, wherever Brahminism, I'm not talking about Brahmins, the order has been completely neutralized in Bihar. Thanks to the rise of what our colleague Jeffrey Lott, a French political scientist, calls silent revolution. So imagine in a landscape, both in the memory landscape I earlier referred to, Maila Achalam Fanishwanath Renu, and cut to 2025, where the silent revolution is consolidating in terms of women agency. So therefore, this disenfranchisement logic is probably, mildly putting it, is mistaken. There is no evidence, hard evidence on the ground. It can really make voters angry or mobilize perhaps women who are coming out in large numbers, looking at the statistically 3-4 elections, the gap of 5 to 6%, which political scientists, my feminist colleagues say, gender parity. So imagine in a landscape of gender parity, you are talking about vote chori. So this is my response, a more substantive response. So therefore, they need to rethink about vote chori. They need to, focus more on, electoral enfranchisement, going down to, EBC and Dalits. If you just come to Barachatti and the places where I was talking about in one of my pieces, based on the luminosity study, satellite data study, the Naxal, wherever Naxal hubs have become, growth hubs in Bihar, led by women, So I spoke about in the morning also the civic and associational infrastructure. Do you think that given this robustness in the Panchayati Raj and the civic engagement platform, there is a possibility of vote chori? I stop here.
Okay, Dr. Nishant Anand, I would like you to respond to Professor Ashwini Kumar. I think he made some very solid points, sir.
Show you a picture of today. He's a BJP leader named Santosh Oja, President Purvanchal Morcha BJP Delhi. So he voted today. He posted a picture of his finger, and 6 months before he voted in Delhi. So the same guy voting in 1 year of span, 2 different states. So now see, we need to understand why we are calling BJP vote chore, and why we are calling Election Commission is working for BJP. Because we have given you the records yesterday for Haryana, 4 months back for another constituency, for another state. See, BJP do not have the credibility to win elections in any of the state. We talk about Bihar, Haryana, Maharashtra. So I'll come back to Bihar. I'll give you a few facts. According to the CAG report 2024, over 71,000 crore worth of government funds are unaccountable. Law and order in Bihar is in complete collapse. 3.5 lakhs crimes in 2024, 80% rise since 2015. Paper leak, teacher recruitment scam, liquor scam, development project.
Okay.
There is nothing which Modi ji or Nitish promised has given in the last 20 years. Over 25 lakh people migrate every year in search of work. For Bihar, this is what Modi and Nitish has brought down Bihar to. This is the report card of BJP and JDU: crime, corruption, and collapsed promises.
Okay.
Now today, if you remember, Modi ji said, "Bhaiyo, I promise I will make Bihar a special category." It did not happen. He promised 1,25 lakh crore package will be given in 2015. 10 years later, we are still waiting for it.
Okay.
Not one defense corridor, not one textile park, not one factory. So what we have received instead is false promises and forgotten dreams.
Manish, please respond, and then I'm going to play out a bite of Prime Minister Modi and Rahul Gandhi. Manish.
He is just echoing what his boss is. They are a master of hasty generalization.
CAG report is not from my boss.
One or two. Please, I did not speak when you were speaking. Please have that courtesy. I do not interrupt when you speak.
But then, don't lie.
I need to speak what I need to speak.
Modi is doing it. Please, you don't lie.
Dr. Anand, please allow Manish to speak. Dr. Anand.
So I would repeat, his boss is a master of hasty generalization. They come up with 2, 3, anomalies, and then they put it in front of the country and the world and generalize it. That is what they are doing it. And that's not a sign of a mature party that has some kind of a system, that has some kind of a vision. And that is why Congress party is where it is. So we keep saying that as long as Mr. Rahul Gandhi is there, they are our best brand ambassadors. Because they're not serious about democracy, they're not serious about welfare of people, they're not ready to admit that 20 years they've put it on someone. That was a dark age for Bihar. Whatever things you say right now, my dear friend, it's happening because you were supporting RJD and you were a failure in that 20 years. And before that, even 60 years. It is Nitish Kumar and BJP that actually started things out there. So please go back. And I can't always say that, I don't want to harp on what happened. But in 20 years, a lot has happened. I always say a broken system that needed to be mended, and now Bihar is ready to really move on the growth. See, growth we are happening, but then a lot of my friends would say, multidimensional poverty is there. But GDP growth rate is very high. Per capita income has got now 7 times. So there are a lot of things. I'm not even saying that everything is great. But then it is important to at least admit your failures. Have you ever admitted for those dark ages during your friend RJD's rule? Have you ever admitted any error? Have you said sorry to the people of Bihar that Bihari was a slur during that time? Thanks to Nitish Kumar, then we are not being now, Bihari is not a slur. But during your time, Bihari was a slur. Anywhere you go into the country, the maximum, in fact, Palayan, what you keep talking about, happened during that dark ages. People were not putting their surnames. Only Kumar in Bihar. That was hilarious. No surname in Bihar. Why? Because we were threatened by goons, because your caste would be known. That's the kind of Bihar you had left.
Can you please tell us?
I don't want to hear any lecture on what
Manish, you made a point. Dr. Anand, respond to that, but that's a social reality. People stopped using their surnames. That's a social reality.
See, I am surprised that they are not able to tell a single work they have done in 11 years. They are not able to tell one IIT, one school, one hospital, one business, one textile. They're not able to tell. Now we come back to vote chori, because we know that BJP government is formed because of vote chori. Again, I will show you, this is the picture of today, 4 hours back. I hope it is visible on the camera. I want to show this. This guy has voted twice. He is the Adhyaksh of BJP Delhi. Voted twice in 1 year. So now whether Bihar keeps exporting its youth or starts empowering them here, whether democracy lives or dies in the shadow of vote chori. When voter lists are rigged, elections are stolen, there is nothing left in our nation. Bihar has seen no growth. no work. Why Palayan is happening? Why 17 rapes are happening every week? Why
Okay.
4 lakhs, close to 4 lakhs crimes are happening every year in Bihar?
Okay.
Why Nitish ji, why Modi ji is not talking about how they can stop pistol and katta in Bihar? They are talking about people use pistol and katta
Okay.
in Bihar. They are
Okay.
not able to give
Okay.
one logical, sensible reason. Not even the spokesperson can tell. Tell me one IIT, one hospital, one textile.
You made your point.
I think
Manish,
we
very
need to know
quickly,
Karthikeya.
Manish. Yeah.
Yeah. There is an IIT Patna. There is an IIM in Gaya. Now you have an engineering college in every district. I don't want to really waste time by rattling all these figures and statistics which entire country know, but Dr. Saab, you do not know. I'm so surprised. We have an NIT out here. Everything is there. Where are you?
Okay. Now,
Vote for
okay, wait a
justice,
minute.
vote for jobs,
Election
vote
Commission
for
press
Bihar's
conference. Okay,
future.
Election Commission press conference is taking place. When they announce something substantially, I'm going to cut to it. But there's a fifth part which I had already mentioned. What happens to the small parties? Now, small parties are also very important. So let me straight away go to, without getting into the details, the graphics are going to run on the side. Ashwini ji, why are small parties so important in Bihar? Why aren't they important in Rajasthan? Why aren't they substantial in Madhya Pradesh? Why aren't they substantial in Rajasthan? Why are they absent from Chhattisgarh, even Rajasthan, even Odisha? What makes Bihar different in context of these small parties? I know this is not the hot topic, but this is an important topic.
Indeed, it's an important topic, and we have to go back to the history of Bihar. And this has started happening once the dominance, what our late legendary political scientist Rajni Kothari called Congress dominance system. Once it started collapsing, Bihar, disintegrated and, descended into what we call a fragmented pluralistic party system. So that's the legacy of a fragmented, since 67, 69, if you look at the history of rotation and frequency of chief ministers, that's the legacy. And that legacy leads to Bihar where, can be used as an opportunity, a space by, Prashant Kishore in terms of Jan Swaraj. So my sense is this kind of a structural property of party system is not available in other states. If you look at Indian state party system, they are both binary in the sense of two party system, or also what the Burger used to call India as an exception to that kind of a party system. But Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh and other places, wherever Congress has been vacated or has been kind of dominance completely wiped out, there is a possibility of minor.
Okay, very quickly, what will happen to what happens to Prashant Kishore? Very quickly, I need to go to Faizan.
Yeah, Prashant Kishore, I can see in the turnout also I can see a mild Prashant Kishore effect. I can see mild Prashant Kishore effect in the way that he has spoke Palayan. See, we work on migration as a social scientist. So migration is something that for us is not, we look at always Palayan. We can also look at migration in terms of the new theories, income opportunity space. So what we also speak in terms of safe and conducive migration, but converting into the lingo of Bihar, Palayan. And second is Berozgari. I think, there is a mild effect, and recognizing that women have come out in large numbers. Okay. And that will, make, next term of whosoever wins little more, challenging in terms of Sushasana.
Okay. Faizan, was Prashant Kishore a storm in a teacup? Or did he really create a political storm?
When this party came with a bang, there was a quite strong perception that if this party, Jan Swaraj party, will make a difference in the election. But I can say that perception was not very correct, and this Jan Swaraj party is hardly making any impact. As far as these smaller parties is concerned, you see, all the political parties, whether they are national parties or regional parties, they want the support of these smaller parties because they are all all caste-based parties, and each combined or alliance wants to seek their support to enhance their voter vote.
I really need to stop you, sir. Sorry, the press conference started before the time. Let us cut across to the press conference of Election Commission on Bihar.
अंतिम है। अभी हम लोग 1 घंटे बाद जब फाइनल हो जाएगा प्रेस नोट जारी करेंगे तो उसमें 64.46% है, जो अभी 45,341 में से 41,943 का अपडेट डाटा प्राप्त हुआ है उसके हिसाब से। तो ये कुछ परसेंटेज 1-2% उसमें ऊपर नीचे हो सकता है। जो फाइनल प्रेस नोट हम लोग 1 घंटे बाद जारी करेंगे सब अपडेट होने के बाद, तो उसमें डाटा आप लोगों को मिल जाएगा। इस प्रथम चरण में जो
46%. I think let's come out of it. I think the biggest news has already been given by the Election Commission of India. Let me share it with my panelists. 64.6%. And this is not the final figure. Smita, 64.6%. This is not the final figure, which means it can actually touch 70%. This is big. Santosh, this is big.
Yes.
Smita,
And
I'll come to you, Manish.
Always when you look in every election on every voting day, whatever, data comes to us by 5 or 6 or 6:30, usually when the reports come from the far-flung booths and all of it is tabulated, it always goes up. I have never seen it going down. So it could reach 67, 68, anything, It will be hovering between 65 and 70, which I think is a wonderful news for Bihar, for Bihar's politics, for our democracy. And I only hope, again I'll reiterate, that this data which has come for this first phase must inspire the voters in the second phase also to come out in even bigger numbers. That will be a great news. But just to add a line to this, this discussion on this decoding the small parties, Kartikeya, there is one thing very interesting in
but
this.
But very quickly, Smita, I need to go to Santosh. I have not gone back to him. Very quickly.
So let me tell you, we cannot equate the other so-called smaller parties like HAM and Upendra Kushwaha's party and others with Prashant Kishore, because the other 2-3, they mostly represent a particular caste base, VIP. Whereas Prashant Kishore came with a different language, a different political thought, Unfortunately, I did not see people taking Prashant Kishore's party so seriously outside some of the cities, in the small towns and in the rural areas.
I think maybe because Prashant Kishore is so closely associated with journalists and media organizations in Delhi, you get more bigger Twitter profile, YouTube profile. It's also because of that.
He had people to amplify his
so let me hedge a bet. Santosh, is this going to breach 65%? Mr. Singh, Santosh, is this going to breach 65%, 70%? Can you hedge a bet on this?
Not 70%, but below 70%. It could breach 65%.
2000 का तो रिकॉर्ड टूट गया फर्स्ट फेज में. वो रिकॉर्ड टूट गया, पूरा तोड़ दिया वो रिकॉर्ड.
The kind of surge of again I would say women voters, larger participation.
नारी शक्ति तो पता ही है सबको कि नारी शक्ति हर चीज के पीछे, बट आई एम सेइंग नंबर दीजिए.
नहीं, नंबर मतलब आपको 65 से ऊपर हो सकता है, आप तो सारा सब कुछ इलेक्शन कमीशन के पास है. लेकिन मैं एक छोटा सा पॉइंट करूंगा. आई कवर्ड SIR twice, did 2 dozen report on SIR. It didn't ask me a single question on SIR.
See, I told you at the beginning of the show, don't hold grudges. If you want to come in, just raise your hand, Santosh. We have known each other for so many years, and I'll say, okay, please.
Kartikeya, just one.
He's behaving like election commission,
No.
He's behaving like election commission.
There was Ghuspatia versus vote chori debate, and neither camp could prove it. The election commission could not show us one foreigner. If at all there was a foreigner, that was Nepali woman married to Indian men. They could not show it. I covered Simanchal, or whole district of Simanchal. Of course, they had their grudges. Congress got its flags back because of the SIR campaign, but they did not capitalize on that. They could have only CPI ML could produce some examples, not Congress, not even RJD. So and BJP, which has been I think indirectly trying to polarize votes on the line by saying Ghuspatia, they could not prove any Ghuspatia factor. So that is my humble submission.
No,
neither
so taking your humble submission in account, since I have to close the show, I will close my show with the bite of Prime Minister Modi and Rahul Gandhi, which is Ghuspatia and SIR both. Let's play those bite out, and thank you all of you for joining me today.
जहां भी इलेक्शन लड़ रहे हैं, ये वोट चोरी करके इलेक्शन जीत रहे हैं. हमने आपको कर्नाटका के बारे में दिखाया. आनंद के बारे में, महाराष्ट्र में एक सीट है वहां के बारे में दिखाया, और कल पूरी दुनिया को हमने दिखाया कि बीजेपी ने, इलेक्शन कमीशन ने हरियाणा का चुनाव चोरी किया है। और मुझे लगता है कि पिछला चुनाव बिहार में भी इन्होंने चोरी किया था। तो इस बार वोट चोरी नहीं होने देनी है। बिहार के युवा, ये आपका भविष्य है। नरेंद्र मोदी, अमित शाह, इलेक्शन कमीशन वोट चोरी में लगे हैं। आपकी जिम्मेदारी बनती है संविधान की रक्षा करना है, वोट चोरी नहीं होने देना है बिहार में।
एनडीए सरकार पूरी मक्कमता से और पूरी ईमानदारी से जो घुसपैठिए हैं एक एक की पहचान कर रही है और घुसपैठियों को देश से बाहर निकालने में जुटी है। लेकिन ये आरजेडी वाले, ये कांग्रेस वाले, ये लोग घुसपैठियों को बचाने में जुटे हैं। ये घुसपैठियों को बचाने के लिए भांति भांति के झूठ फैलाते हैं।
भारत सरकार ने सभी देशवासियों के हित में हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस से जीएसटी पूरी तरह से हटाकर 0 कर दिया है। इससे हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस काफी सस्ता हो गया है। पॉलिसी बाजार पर अब 1 करोड़ का हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस सिर्फ 550 रुपए महीने से शुरू। policybazaar.com।
बढ़ता है, खेलता है, झूलता उछलता है, दौड़ता कभी कभी दौड़ कराता है, आगे आगे बढ़ता है इंडिया, अमूल दूध।